Yeah, this is from Miss Curvy. All right, all right, guys. All right, guys. Every once in a while, those of us who put up videos, we get posts from people who just, for the first time came in, listened to some of your videos, and they got their own opinions. They get so heated, African American women especially, they just get so heated, man. And they're like, I gotta say something to this guy, man. He's just way off base. How dare he talk to us like this? Or how dare he say these things? And then you also get those posts from, different people, man, who are like, man, you're awesome, man. It's great. Or man, you're so freaking funny. This is great stuff. But, you know, uh, half the time I get posts from African American women who are just pissed and who who act like or pretend that they don't know that the African American women that I'm talking about exist. So let me start out with this woman, Miss Curvy. And this is what she has to say. She posted on The General is Back. She says, what is the point of this post? I don't see anything that you are doing to uplift anyone but white women. It's in the tone of your voice. And see, I find that quite interesting. And this is me talking now. I find that quite interesting because the video was about Derek Luke. And Derek Luke's woman is Hispanic. And, some of the times, when you're growing up, you notice that African American women, they have a tendency to call any woman that a black man is with, if she is not black, white. So she can be Asian, she's white. She can be Hispanic, she's white. She can be white, white. You know what I mean? It's like one of those little things, like, wow. It's 2009 and you just still can't get your brain to click to understand that there's more women in this world than white women. So these are things that, brothers think about, that the average African American woman doesn't think about, that we think about. It's like, you all need classes or something? But maybe African American women do this just to annoy black men. Either way, it makes them look so bad because it's like, wow, what educational level are you? That's what we think immediately. Like, baby, you talking about me and you trying to say something about me or to me, but you have to understand from my perspective, I wouldn't be with you anyway because you are not smart enough to know that this woman that's standing next to me is Asian. So you're already out the running. And I don't think the women actually look at it that way, that they're already out the running. You just they think that they're just so powerful that it's you as an African American man who's in the running for them. But they don't realize that, a lot of these guys have decided, hey, if you ain't up to snuff, you ain't getting up in here. You ain't rolling with me. I can't take you to near the job. I can't take you near any professionals because, see, I'm about making my money. I'm about, becoming a millionaire. And in order to become a millionaire, you can't have some crazed lunatic standing next to you. No one's willing to do business with you. And that goes across the board. I've seen Asian guys lose their entire businesses because they married the wrong woman. And in happenstance, I've seen this a couple of different ways in Chicago. A lot of these guys who have a little money, they go down to, some of these third world countries and bring back a woman. She's going to be the perfect wife and stuff like that. Wait till she sees these big city lights. This is going to be wonderful. Yeah, and that chick just is craziest. It happens. It happens. But, sometimes it works out. Not for everybody, but, for some people, it does absolutely work out where they can go to a third world country, bring back a woman, and she'll be absolutely grateful, and everything is going to be copacetic forever. But other times, it just doesn't. So, and for those brothers who are probably wondering, no, I'm not talking about Brazil. My answer to this woman when she said, it's in the tone of your voice and uplifting white women, was, you don't see my point. Or how can I say this? So my reply was, and I included some of her reply. And it was, I know you don't see the point. Black women paint their own realities. Hint, Derek Luke's woman is Hispanic. Simple answer. Didn't even address all the rest of that stuff. But I'm going to call you on something that you just didn't hear me say. Because, see, it's in the tone of my voice, so you must have been listening to the tone, but you weren't listening to the substance. Another problem that we have with, the sisterhood. Then she comes back in and she replies, what is my reality? You should have more respect for women than to bait and pit them against each other. That's the only point I see from this video. I see this as you are a childlike and you want attention. If it's good or bad, and I see it as sad as you see the need to put anyone else down, much less people you don't know. Now, I know. You're probably saying to yourself, I don't understand a word that you just said. I didn't write it. This woman wrote it. And that's another problem that brothers have with the sisterhood, is that when you guys literally post to us, you post some incoherent garble. There's no logic to it, and you don't even address the one specific thing that I put in there, is that his woman was Hispanic. So you go on to easier way to answer or easy way to talk is, what is my reality? Woman, I don't know what your reality is. You painted it. But I know it's something silly. So what I answer to this woman is, when it comes to people you don't know. And I find that just so dang ironic coming from an African-American woman, because African-American women have earned the stereotype for being the type of people that are in everybody else's business but their own. For a bunch of women who don't have their stuff together in terms of the community, the black community, where everybody can see how ridiculous it looks, you all seem to be able to find yourself in a situation where you think you can comment on every other woman on the planet who has her stuff actually together. What gives you the license? It would be different if this was 1965 and you all were acting accordingly and everything was perfect in the African American community and you had to hold the community together like most, yes, African American men and women had to do during that time. And did you hear what I said? African American men and women had to do at that time. You would be able to make that call if you had to help hold the community together with shoestring and bubble gum. But that's not your reality. There are a lot of people out here who are right about the reality, and that you paint your own reality, and that you spend way too much time trying to comment on everybody else but your backyard, and your backyard is funky. So she went on to say, less people you don't know. Man, look, I'm trying in so many words to say that the African American woman has an overinflated sense of ego. An overinflated sense of ego. You don't have the background. I mean, personal background. 1980 to 2009 to say a dang thing. Hell, I can start it right when I started. 1973 to 2009. You ain't got the background to run your mouth this much. So my answer to this woman was, wow, I want attention. Weak sauce. If I want attention, then why are you giving me attention? I love when the psychoanalyzing black woman comes around. My God, do you all read from the same playbook? Answer, yes. The playbook of the sisterhood. Laugh my ass off. Respect for women? Where did I disrespect women? you can't disrespect women by pointing out the flaws of the women of one particular group. And also, pointing out a flaw is not disrespect. Black women like yourself have an overinflated sense of womanhood. Black women like yourself think that you can answer for the thoughts of all other women when it's convenient and benefits you. African American women's ridiculous egos are not working for you. Sorry. That was my answer. Look, a lot of these women generally don't post back to me. And I understand. What happens is that when they start to post, they realize when I start to post back that this is an actual man. Not a thug, not a moron, not an uneducated fool, but an actual man.